Hey guys, it's Siobhan with To Kitty and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've been here, so I'd like to welcome myself back to my channel. Thank you all so much for your concern and your care. Those of you who reached out to me via email or even via the comments, that did not go unnoticed, and thank you to those of you, you know who you are. That just really showed how much my absence meant to some of you, and even to those of you who didn't reach out. I'm sure that some of you noticed as well that I wasn't there. So there's a lot that I want to say, and I should have written some notes out to sort of compartmentalize my thoughts so I could share them in a more cohesive way. But true to form, I'm very impulsive and just kind of on the spot. Whenever I feel something, I'll say it. And if I'm not sure how to say it, I just won't say it. So I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I've been debating how to come back and how to explain what I've been going through, and it's very personal to me, which is not something that I'm usually very comfortable sharing, especially on social media. This is like the general public, right? I have difficulties even sharing with the people who are closest to me. So you can imagine how challenging it can feel to share anything remotely vulnerable with the wider population. So I've been going through a really integral portion of my spiritual journey, and it came about a year ago in August when I had a quantum healing hypnosis therapy session with a soul sister who came through to me as somebody who was watching my channel, and she reached out to me via email, and we decided to do a services exchange, QHHT, for Reiki. And we found out through the Reiki session that we had some soul affiliations. We'd worked together, or we'd had, soul history in the past together. And when she came through for the QHHT, I knew it was her. I'd been putting out the feelers energetically with my intentions for a while that I was looking for a practitioner to do QHHT. And the one practitioner who I had previously lined up and was about to book an appointment with ended up breaking her leg. So things like that will happen, that it's like, nope, not the right time, not the right person. And then the right person will come forward synchronistically and it feels right. And that's how you know. So anyway, within that session, there was some content that came through from my past, not from past lives, from my past in this life. And it was memories that had been repressed. So this is psychological amnesia caused by trauma. So what the brain will do is it will compartmentalize the experience, the memory, and store it away in a way that it's still present within the subconscious, and it's still influencing the physical body and the behavior and things like that. But the conscious mind cannot access it because it's too damaging. So that came forward. That really kind of threw me through a loop. I was not expecting that. I didn't know that was there. Looking back, I now see the puzzle pieces and how they all fit together. So like the clues were there, but my conscious mind had made the decision to ignore those clues because they just didn't make sense. I didn't have the full information. I didn't understand the whole picture. So after that session, it took me a while to sort of reconcile this information because it really did give me that sort of, if you're into tarot, the tower. It was like a tower moment for me. It really made me question everything up until that point in my life that I'd come to. And it made me question my own sanity. I was really just in a place of disruption, and that can feel very chaotic, as the tower always does. But after the tower comes the star, which is all about healing and hope, direction, guidance, possibly even, other people coming in to support you, which is exactly what happened. So I did have to reach out for assistance in this, and I thank God for the creator, whatever you'd like to call it, that there was people who were lined up to help me, and that I was guided towards people who could assist me in what I had to do. So when I found who I was looking for to support me in dealing with this trauma, it came to my awareness that the reason this trauma was coming forward now was not to break me, but rather because I was capable of handling it. So it would not have come forward to my conscious mind if my subconscious was aware at all that it could disrupt my state of survival, which I had endured up until this point for 31 years. So essentially, this trauma is still being worked through. I'm right smack in the middle of doing it, but I feel like I've gotten over some kind of a hump with it, and I'm feeling more connected to myself than I've been in a long time. And I'm really thankful for this spiritual journey, that it's brought me to this place of self-compassion to be able to address these things, and self-awareness to be able to see these things and not deny them or resist them, which previously most likely would have happened if that content had come up fully. And you can see that within the little clues along the way. Those were resisted adamantly and denied because consciously I wasn't ready to accept them and to work with them. So this is some pretty deep stuff. It's childhood trauma. I'm not going to go into the details of it because I really don't feel comfortable with that, and I don't know that I ever will. But suffice it to say that, this really affected every aspect of my life, and it's continuing to do that, but now I get to choose how it does that. And I'm now choosing to take back my power, which is the greatest gift that I can give myself and that any of us can give ourselves, is to take back our power. And through that, we need, as I always say in the Akashic Record readings, to find alignment, we need awareness, acceptance, and action. So I gained that awareness. I'm working through the process of acceptance, and I've begun to take action in a positive direction for my own physical, mental, and spiritual health. And as I always say, these things are, one in and of itself is not mutually exclusive from the others. They are all interconnected and interrelated in a very complex way. So if one of them is affected, chances are the others are going to be affected as well. And it's important for us to find the core root of where this imbalance or dysfunctional expression is coming from so that we can address it through our awareness, and then, of course, be accountable so that we can take new action and redirect where we would like it to go. We are the creators of our own realities. I 100% have always believed in this, and I still believe in this. But that being said, there are moments of doubt and pain that can cause you to question not only yourself, but the nature of your reality and the nature of your life and how it's played out and why did these things happen to me and all of those things. Now with that, it's important to always have that sort of that grain of hope within. And I feel like people who lose that grain of hope allow themselves to go into a downward spiral of negative self-reinforcement. So it's the vulnerability becomes almost like I should say it's a resistance. There's resistance to the vulnerability, and so the self will kind of implode, and it causes this reaction where there's a real disability to be able to pull yourself back out. And it's not that you can't pull yourself back out. It's just that it gets to the point where you can't see how and you don't know what to do. And so for anybody who's struggling with that and maybe even contemplating suicide, I want you to know that you're, first of all, not alone. There's a lot of people who are struggling with that. And it's not necessarily a want to escape living. It's more of a want to escape the pain or the apathy of the experience that you're living. And I've not struggled with suicide, really thankfully, but there has been moments in my journey that have been so painful that I just wished I didn't exist. And I've never contemplated actually doing anything on that account, but there's been moments where it was just so all-consuming and overwhelming that the only thing that could be felt at that moment was that intense pain or discomfort. And how could you not want to escape from that? How could you not want to not exist when that is all your existence is at that moment? So I just, it's all about mental health, and that is so interconnected with spiritual and physical health. And there's aspects in the brain that need to be rewired when we experience trauma. There's aspects in the brain that may be dysregulating on their own for one reason or another. The brain is an organ. It can malfunction just like your liver, just like your spleen, just like your intestines, just like your pancreas, and you wouldn't razz a diabetic for being diabetic and needing insulin when some people get really razzed for having mental health issues and then trying to treat them either medically or holistically or spiritually. So, where do I go from here? My rambling ADHD mind tends to just spew things out in train of thought. So for those of you who are still here and who are still listening, I thank you for that. I hope that you can understand. I don't hope that you relate, because I don't want anybody to have gone through what I've been experiencing. But if you have, at least you're not alone in it. And that's one of the hardest things sometimes, is when you're really, really deep in it, you do feel completely alone. You feel like you're the only one who's ever experienced this, and you feel like you need to shut yourself away from the world because people won't understand or you'll be judged. And if that's how you felt, I do understand that and relate to that, because that's exactly how I felt over the course of the last, 6 months or so. I think it's been 3 or 4 months since I've been absent from social media. It's been tough, and I've still been working one-on-one with clients, but I've had to really reserve all of the energy that I was giving to social media, to creating content, to uploading, to answering comments, to all of these different aspects, to first and foremost my mental, psychological, physical, emotional healing, as well as the work that I'm still doing one-on-one with clients, which is my passion, which I would never give up. And from this point forward, I'm not really sure how to keep going the way that I was, because things have changed. I've changed. Everything's changed. And so I feel like my passions have changed. My direction has changed when it comes to what I want to create on social media. I feel like what I was doing before is not necessarily 100% aligned with what my truth is now. And I'm still trying to discover what that is. So again, I'm just kind of in this hiatus, and I'm here, but I'm still just trying to figure it all out myself. I'm not a guru. I've never proclaimed to be one. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything about spirituality. I don't even know everything about my own mind, and it's a constant discovery, and I'm just curious, and I'm open, and I'm willing to keep learning, and I'm open and I'm willing to keep sharing what I'm learning with you, because really that is my passion and that is my purpose. So all I can do is just experience things and then share those with you in hopes that my experiences will bring some grain of awareness, acceptance, and action to those who are seeking it. All right, so I guess that's it for today. If you guys are interested in booking a Reiki session with me, an Akashic Records reading, or a intuitive tarot reading of any kind, I have lots of different options. I'm still taking clients. I will continue to take clients, and I will look forward to connecting with you guys on that one-to-one level, which is really my favorite way of connecting. I just feel social media can be very impersonal, and I'm the type of person where I like to have a one-on-one conversation where we can really get deep and understand, what's going on and work through that together. That's where I feel the most comfort and safety and passion and purpose. So thank you all who have reached out to me. Thank you all who I've worked with in the past and who I'll be working with in the future. It really is an honor for me to do this work with you, for you. through you and for you to support me in the work that I'm doing for myself. So I love you. Thank you again, you guys. It really means a lot to me. And we'll see you next time.